So this is the third day in a row now that I've done 3x5 on squats with 140 with this new stance, this medium externally rotated stance. So the signs are pretty good. Obviously I'm sore through the adductors and glutes and whatnot, but like the signs are good in the sense that there is no adductor pain and there is no hip pain. So it seems as though I've found something that's really interesting here. It's allowing me to put volume in, and for the longest time, man, I've always felt this. If I can get through this volume, which I deem necessary for progression, I get stronger. And I think it's the same for everyone. We all know that if you can survive 10 by 10 at freaking 80%, you're going to get stronger. There's just no way you won't get stronger. The trouble is that we all very well know that at certain volumes, you start to get injuries. You start to get pains. And I feel as though the more you progress through the weights, the longer history you have with training, the finer line that is between effective training and overtraining, in the sense of getting those injuries, those little nagging things that we all get pissed off about. For me, it's the hip pain. I've said the word hip pain on this channel probably damn near 1,000 times now. So it's looking really good. Obviously, too early to call it, but everything that I'm feeling in my body is muscular, in the sense that I don't feel like I'm pinching anything, I'm not doing anything. It's all just pure DOMs. And if you ask me, DOMs alone, yeah, I can tolerate pain, man, but it's the certain type of pain. DOMs pain, fantastic. I can have that every single day. But the pain with hip pain, that's different, man. Like, that is debilitating. More than 15 minutes in the car, the hip pain starts to really, really go crazy. I feel like the bloody ITB wants to tear off the damn knee. Everything's tight, everything's pissed off, everything's irritated, and nothing feels really good. And then obviously pain attracts more pain. And so then if you don't address it, then you start to feel all sorts of other discomforts, because I feel like that inflammation just carries on through the whole system and wreaks havoc. So that's all really, really good. Today, I wanted to get to the 3x5 and then get to bench pressing. The whole family was out and about and we were all training, even the baby's looking at what we're doing, and everyone's joining in, especially since mum has joined the training. There's absolutely nothing for them in the house now, so they're all with us all the time. Even the little guy's trying to imitate the bigger brother doing push-ups. So that's amazing to see. My bench pressing today, I introduced pull-ups the other day, right? And today I'm feeling weird. I never understood this, but it's really weird, and I've felt it many times. Really, really wide, pronated pull-ups really do something to my pecs. Today, I failed 140. I failed them again. I don't quite understand why the pecs fire up so much when I do these bloody pull-ups, but they do. And so now I'm kind of thinking to myself, okay, if I'm going to do bench press, it's probably not a good idea to do bench press near the pull-ups. That's another clash, right? And these clashes really do your head in. Somebody commented the other day, like, Ivan, why do you got to choose always one or the other? Why can't you just do rows and pull-ups? Why can't you just do that? And on the cover of things, you're like, of course, just plug them in. But you need to understand that, like, everything affects everything. And the tricky part of programming is not just to take all the exercises from A to Z and just throw them in and do them. The art here is to make a program where this decay or fatigue from such exercise ends when you start to do something else, which uses some of those muscles that just finish decaying. If you throw in heavy squats for high volume and the next day you try to do deadlifts and you're puzzled why it doesn't work, well, it's because of this decaying effect. What squats do, deadlifts want to do. And so this is where the art comes in. And so in my mind right now, I'm like, okay, clearly I need another few days before I do bench press. Now, then you do bench press, and the bench press will have a decaying curve on a graph. And so I have been certain that bench press will affect your deadlift. And so you start to kind of run out of space, certainly in that arbitrary 7-day roster that people try to fit it in that week's roster. You start to run out of time. Okay, so if I do the pull-ups here, the bench press has to go here, then damn, that leaves only 2 days until I deadlift. And you know how deadlift taxing that is. So this is where it gets really, really difficult. And a lot of people try to kind of focus on one thing and forget about the other thing. But if you're interested in progressing multiple lifts at once, now it gets really, really tricky on how you're going to do that. Very easy just to say to yourself, screw pull-ups, screw all of that, and just focus on the squat, and that's it. And everything that you do is for the squat. And so 3 days before your main squat session, what are you going to do? Well, not a lot, because you want all that fatigue to just completely decay away, wash away, so you're really, really ready for that. But if you're carrying fatigue on, after a certain exercise, it's going to affect that main session. And so this is where it gets really, really tricky and really puzzling. And I've certainly felt that many times with rows, when I, over the years, introduced rows, freaking knackered. My lower back is fried. I can't deadlift, can't squat. I'm trying to squat heavy every day. That's not working. I'm definitely feeling deflections on that graph, up and down. It's so much noise going on. And then there's also that systemic fatigue that you have to manage as well. Like, we all have one reservoir. The bench press doesn't take from the bench press reservoir. Everything comes from the same reservoir, which is the central nervous system. There's only one. So no matter what you're doing, there's only one. There's only one metabolic system that everything is tapping into. And so there is a lot of crossover between a lot of these things. So if you get fried, burnt out with with bench press 2 days before your main squat session, okay, the chest is not that involved with as much as deadlifts, let's say. It's not involved with the squat. But dude, you need to understand that your nervous system is fried. It's like the wiring in your car is fried. Absolutely fried. You want to play the stereo, that's cool, but it's fried. It's fried. You want to flick on the windscreen wipers. Dude, the wires are fried. Do you understand? Whether you're operating the stereo or the windscreen, it's fried. Everything's gone and you can't use anything. So there's a lot of that, and a lot of that kind of crosses my mind a lot of times. Because I train every day, I'm like, okay, every day I'm going to do the squat, let's say 3x5, that's the flavor for now. And I'm going to do the bench press and then go home or leave. And then the next day I'll do pull-ups, the next day I'll do rows, the next day, and so then all of a sudden you have every single day where you're focusing on one other lift other than squats. But then you go, shit, man, every day I'm pushing hard. When is it going to catch up, the fatigue? When is it going to just wash away? So even though you are attacking different systems, different movements, different patterns, it's coming from the same fuel tank, man. That energy is coming from the same fuel tank. So you need days where you just chill, and you do something that is not very heavy, not axial loading the living hell out of you. Something where you can just exist and move through space. And that's the tricky bit. This is where I like to do some other things, like, the hammer stuff, like that's local tissue stuff, but it's not exhausting. It's not, how should I say it? It's not really heavy. It's just, I'm working one specific muscle. It's like prehab, right? So that prehab still gets you the feeling like you are actively training and trying to attain something, but you're not burning hard for it. This is kind of the magic of training. And so, sure, rows and pull-ups, they're all over the place, but you need to be aware that they all have a decay on a graph. And that is very, very much affected by the other biological processes in the body, the sleep, the work, the stress, the social life, the drinking life, all of that stuff goes into it. Your food allergies, what did you eat? So if you were to take one graph, one A4 piece of paper, and throw all of these damn different curves on the bar, Monday to Friday, all of a sudden it gets very, very noisy. And the people that can really sort that graph out and make it systemic, make it a pattern, and there is a definite fall and a recovery period, those are the people that do the best. Those of us who are too keen and throw everything into the mix, we burn out, man. We are like fighting ourselves and fighting multiple different things. And I've definitely fallen victim to that many times. So you have to be mindful of that. We are not freaking endless energy sources. We are very much deplete and restore. And you have to restore, man. There's no other way. Appreciate you guys like always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.